competence in handling adversity, how to handle stress, courage, work ethic, perseverance. Well, the list goes on, but boy, we're definitely developing leaders in the world when parents choose to put their kids into high-performance tennis. So I take my hat off to all the parents out there, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and something you shared earlier is a quick development rate. I'm wondering, Frank, if you can talk a little bit about the importance and how a parent can help organize their child's customized development plan to help maximize their potential at the quickest rate.
Well, a great way to start getting organized is to, have a blueprint. And I'm going to give everybody my website. One of my websites is called tennisparentsolutions.com. tennisparentsolutions.com. It's a free blog site. There's hundreds of free articles on how to become a better world-class tennis parent. But also in that, there's a bunch of e-books that we put together for juniors and parents. And one of the e-books is the customized evaluation blueprint, so they can pick one of those up. There's e-books with how to chart matches, 10 easy, unique ways to chart matches, how to attract a college scholarship. So all of these questions that tennis parents, they either have now or they're going to have them the next couple of years, they're covered in that website. So tennisparentsolutions.com, there's some of the blueprints there. Or better yet, come to our workshop when we hit your city, and we'll customize it for you. We'll go through it together.
That sounds great, and obviously you're going to be here coming from California out to El Paso, Albuquerque, Scottsdale, and Tucson. And Frank, obviously you've shared, you've elaborated on the preparation of getting a player ready, but let's talk a little bit about match day, the day of the match, and how important the communication between the parent and the player will be, and some of the things that might stress both parties out on that particular day.
Yeah, well, match day preparation is key for sure, and this is a good example of how a tennis parent could sabotage any real chance of success. So, for example, a coach is really, their job is to kind of de-stress, and they understand that they need to de-stress players and have them focus on performance issues, not outcome issues, right? And so we're spending hours and hours with players, as coaches, trying to do that. And then a parent might drive their kid to the tournament site and absolutely sabotage any bit of de-stressing that we've done. So I'll give you a funny example. There's a family here in California, the Kalowskis. So Martha Kalowski, she actually gets up Saturday morning to drive little Kelly to the tournament. She doesn't like Kelly's choice of outfit. She's upset about her chewing at breakfast. She's pissed off about the poor directions. She's annoyed about every red light. Martha's at the end of her rope and just stressed out like crazy. And Kelly hasn't even played the match yet. Now, Kelly walks on the court so frazzled, she can't even sing straight because her mom stressed her out so bad. And, of course, Kelly loses the match, and guess who gets all the blame? Poor Kelly. But the mom pulled her out of her performance frame of mind and into all this unwanted drama. So it was super interesting for me. Now, Sunday comes along in the backdrop. Kelly's still in the tournament. Now, Mark Kalowski drives to the tournament. Now, here's Mark. Mark's driving poor Kelly to the tournament, saying things like, okay, Kelly, she's 98 spots ahead of us. Our ranking will skyrocket if you just don't blow it. Remember, she cheats. She'll push. So focus. This is the most important match of the year. And remember, Kelly, we spent $2,000 getting you here. So don't expect me to keep forking over your hard-earned money and all this hard-earned money to your game if you lose. So, of course, Kelly walks on the court, just freaked out, loses again. Kelly gets all the blame. But really, she can't even begin to be in her performance state of mind because her parents are not educated. So there's pre-match communication. There's job descriptions during the match, like charting or videotaping. And then there's post-match communication. And it's critical that the parents know what to do because parents can blow it, and they don't even know they're the ones blowing it. So it's going to be pretty interesting. We'll cover that a lot during our workshops.
Yeah, I can easily see how that can happen, and we've got brain types of players and we've got body types of players, and some of what I really enjoy when I go out to Cincinnati every year is to interview the players, and some of the brain players that I've identified, Janko Tipsareviches and Vera Zvonarevas, and obviously the body types, the Ferrers and the Nadals and whatnot. But can you talk a little bit about how a brain type of player and a body type of player help to drive the success that a player would have on the court, and the role that the parent plays in that as well?
Yeah, sure. I think it's one of the most important factors. I've had so many players go from 500 in the nation to top 50, top 20, just by changing their training based on the kid's brain type. So we'll go through a little bit. We all know about Myers-Briggs and personality profiling, but the first category is introvert and extrovert. And introverts gain energy by alone time. They need to quietly reflect a little bit. Extroverts gain energy by making things happen. So what brain type is going to go to the net and attack, and what brain type might not? So probably extroverts might be more naturally wired, their genetic predisposition to make things happen. So part two, the second grouping of brain typing, is intuitive or sensates. Intuitives really, really trust their gut instincts. They say things like, I had a hunch, I had a feeling that they were choking, so I stepped in on the second serve more and got them to double fault because I sensed they were panicking over there. That's intuitive. And sensates want all the facts before they make a decision. So a sensate going to the net is never going to happen unless they're really, really nurtured to understand that the opponent is vulnerable, and now it makes perfect sense to go in and attack. So it's fun even when you're picking like doubles partners. Like if you want your doubles partner who's a sensate to serve and volley and get to the net, unless that kid is really, really taught well to play that style. So, I mean, we all know there's nature and nurture. There's the genetic predisposition that you're born with, but then also there's the nurturing side. That plays a role too. But the other factors might be the brain type. Is it a thinker or a feeler? Feelers are very emotional to the emotional climate of the match. Feelers are very sensitive, and they have a lot of trouble with people cheating and hooking. You can almost sometimes even see these players falling apart, crying on the court. Thinkers are a little bit more rigid. They just say what's logical. They have no problem with cheaters. They'll just walk off, get a line judge because it's the logical thing to do. And so the way we teach people is really based on their brain type. The last section is judges or perceivers. Judges are found in the here and now with their thoughts, and laws and rules apply and only stand inside the box, only do what you're supposed to do. That's a judger. Perceivers, that their brain is found in the future. They're big picture thinkers. Well, interesting, if you have a perceiver on the court, almost always they can get a 5-2 lead, and now they're thinking about where the trophy's going to go in their room, their ranking. They're watching the court 6, and they know the score in court 6, 7, 8. They know that people are cheating on court number 12. So these perceivers, their mind is already way gone. So we have to teach that brain type how to close games and close sets and finish these matches off. So they all have their strengths and weaknesses, but if you know the brain type, you don't waste any time, and you maximize potential at the quicker rate. So that's brain typing in a nutshell.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, tennis is all about numbers, and you mentioned early on in the explanation that you've taken people from 500 in the world to 50 and whatnot. That's outstanding. I think everybody could relate to that, and as we know, it's such a fine line in tennis. Between really outside of the top 4 or 5 guys, number 8 through 70 or so, it's just anybody can win almost. It's a toss-up. And just a little tweak there, as you mentioned, Frank, in preparation and in coaching and match play, how to construct this particular point to play to the strengths of an individual can make all that big difference. That's got to really hit home with parents. And with that, if you could just talk a little bit about identifying the parental and personality profile, if we can talk about